Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Ask Alexa Therapy Facebook Live. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. So excited each week to be getting such amazing questions from you, the viewers. Again, please send all questions to info@askalexatherapy.com or here on Facebook at Ask Alexa Therapy. Well, let's get to tonight's question. Dear Ask Alexa, now that school has started and resumed to in-school in person, my daughter, who is an honor student with many friends, is finding it hard just to walk into school. Anxiety is high, heart racing, and sweaty palms, and she doesn't even have a reason why she feels this way. And it's every day. As a parent, I'm hoping as the days turn into weeks that this will pass. Help me help her. This is such a tough question, and I've been hearing it more and more in my private practice and from you, the viewers. Pre-COVID, but now due to COVID, a lot of students and adults are returning to in-person, are returning to more social settings, academic settings, work environment settings. And a lot of times they've been isolating due to COVID or before COVID due to depression or anxiety or other physical ailments. And like anything, when you isolate or when you have not been around social settings, even if before this you were a very sociable person, you enjoyed friends, you enjoyed school, you enjoyed work, the anticipation of going back to school is usually the most anxiety provoking. The actual event of being in school, once you're there, I find with many of my clients, is not as bad as the anticipation. The buildup of walking into school, of driving to school, especially the night before on Sunday night, I hear a lot of the Sunday night jitters or the feelings of doom and anxiety and racing thoughts to having to return to school or to work. What I would recommend for you as the parent to start introducing grounding exercises to your daughter. Grounding exercises will help your daughter be in the moment, to be present, but also to remove the main focus off of the anxiety and onto a tedious or menial task or on different ways of being present in the moment. Many exercises that I prescribe to my clients are counting backwards from 100, counting back from 1,000. The harder, the better. And why I say that is because the mind will start concentrating on the numbers, not on the anxiety, not on the racing thoughts or the sweaty palms. But if you find yourself or your daughter finds herself going back to those thoughts and those feelings and being overwhelmed in them again, I would recommend she start from, again, 100 or 1,000. If that becomes too easy, reciting the alphabet forward and backwards, or every third letter. Again, that takes the focus off of the anxiety and on a menial task that does not have any emotion attached to it. Other different exercises that I've used are being able to get something like a cold compress and putting it on the inside of your wrists. What this does is almost kind of shock the client, the student, into saying, wow, that's really cold. And again, taking the focus off the anxiety, which is the most important part. The more you take yourself out of the anxiety, the more self-confidence you'll gain. The client, the student, your daughter will start feeling more empowered. It won't feel like this anxiety is just this overwhelming fear and feeling that just takes over and feels like it's never going to end. When someone can see the end to the anxiety or know sometimes when I do this, it gets a little bit better, it gives them that hope. It gives them that feeling that things will get better, and they will get better. I know anxiety is very crippling and very paralyzing, but it's very treatable. In my practice, anxiety is one of my specialties. I see clients on a day-to-day basis suffering from all different stages of anxiety, and I've seen incredible progress utilizing these coping skills, grounding exercises, but also at some point EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing. By doing all of this, we can figure out when the anxiety hits, the frequency, the onset, the duration, and the intensity. And the more we can dissect it, even though the anxiety might not make sense. We're not trying to make sense of the anxiety because the anxiety is rational. It's irrational. We won't really be able to make sense of it. We won't be able to sometimes talk ourselves out of it. So it's important to dissect it so you don't feel like it's this big unknown wave that comes over you. I would also want to see if your daughter could take an inventory when the anxiety starts. Does it start the night before? Does it start in the morning? Is it on the car ride there? Is it on the bus? And really be able to be in tune and pinpoint when the anxiety is and when it really peaks. Another great exercise is utilizing the 5 senses. By doing this, you'll be sitting in the room. You can do this on the bus. You can do it in the classroom. You can do it at work. And no one will be aware that you're suffering from anxiety or having a panic attack. What I would say is you would say the 5 senses. When you're in the room or in the school bus or walking into school, you would look around and say, what do I hear? What do I smell? What do I see? What do I taste? And what do I feel? And name 5 to 10 examples of it before you move to the next one. So if someone was walking up to school, they could say, I see the doors. I see other students. I see the grass. What do I hear? I hear children talking. I hear the bell. I hear car horns beeping. What do I feel? And then once you really start becoming in tune with your 5 senses and your reactions and how you respond, you start to feel empowered. Also, another great tool is being able to squeeze and release different muscle groups. You can start with your hands and go all the way down to your toes, or start with your toes and go all the way up. What you do is you would squeeze it and release. Squeeze it and release. And what that does is it releases, it physicalizes the anxiety. A lot of times too, if you can, push-ups, jumping jacks, sit-ups, something that will kind of take that burst of energy, that anxiety, and release it is very important. And I know sometimes when you're in class or on the bus or at work, you won't be able to do such exercises. But if you can, those are also really, really great tools. Again, different breathing exercises are also great. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth and releasing it and feeling the anxiety. Give it a physicalization. Give it a drip. Give it kind of a fizzling. Give it almost the sound of what you do when you take the air out of the balloon, and use that as a way of feeling the anxiety, releasing, and removed from your body. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for sending in this question. Also, my new book, Your Walk in Life, will be covering a lot of these tools that I spoke about and going into a lot of detail. And what's really amazing is I will be doing in-person workshops and Zoom, where I will be doing different exercises with you, the viewer that's there, and being able to really help tailor it to each person. So each person can really be able to get a bird's eye view of anxiety and what tools we'll utilize. Also, keep a lookout for my new episode of Ask Alexa. Well, I will be answering questions from you, the viewers. Should be coming out this week. So check out my YouTube channel, Ask Alexa Therapy. Again, thank you so much. Keep sending in your questions to info@AskAlexaTherapy.com or here on Facebook. Hi, Kathy and Paul and Regina. Thank you so much, and Mary Kay for tuning in. Everyone, I will see you next Sunday at 6 o'clock. Have a wonderful weekend and have a good night, and God bless.